Hello, how you doing? You are welcome to Maths with Gpad. So we are still talking about algebra, and so far we have done quite a number of video series, live sessions on algebra. So in today's lesson, we are going to be talking about difference of two squares. Difference of two squares expressions. If you can hear me, type 1 in the chat. And if you are glad to have a live class on difference of two squares expressions, type 1 in the chat. Let's like the live so that other people can join us. We're about to get started. We are about to begin. Type 1 in the chat. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. We're about to get started. We are about to go live. Let's like the live. Let's like the live so we can get started. Thank you. Like the live so we get started. Are you ready? We're about to take off. We are about to take off. Oh, Kunwa, good to have you here. Kunwa, as always, good to have you here. So let's begin right away. Why we begin? Hopefully others will join us and get involved in what we are doing today. So you may have heard of difference of two squares before or not. I'm not sure about that. This is what we call difference of two squares. As you can see, you have difference, that's minus, of two squares, x squared, y squared. Hence, it is called difference of two squares. If you want to factorize where you have a difference of two squares expressions, it's going to come to this form. So you're going to have x minus y. So the difference of the two terms without the squares, and then the sum of the two squares without the squares. Hence, if you factorize this, you're going to get x minus y in bracket and x plus y in bracket. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. All right. So you said 1 is the answer. Well, there's no question yet, okay? But we are starting right away. So everybody, let us begin. Now, number 1, factorize 25y squared minus 4. Factorize 25y squared minus 4. Looking at this, you might be tempted to say you cannot use difference of two squares because there is no squares apart from just on y. But of course, it's also difference of two squares. How are we going to do that? Let me show you how. 25 can be written as 5 raised to the power of 2, right? And then y squared is still there. Then minus, what about 4? 4 can be written as what? 2 raised to the power of 2. So now we have difference of two squares. But let's just group 5y, like let's rewrite it like this and put a square on top like so. And then we have minus 2 squared. So it's now time to to have this form as a factorization where you have difference of two squares expressions, right? So this is 5y minus 2 squared. 5y squared minus 2 squared is now going to be, see, x has a place of 5y, y has a place of what? 2. So it's going to be 5y minus 2 in bracket, and then what? 5y plus 2. So this is the result you get when you factorize 25y squared minus 4 using difference of two squares. I hope this makes sense, people. I hope you got value from what I've just said. That's correct. Okay. Yes, you're all welcome. You're all welcome. So let's look at another question. Let's look at, like I said, I like it where you thank you for those who are liking this live stream. So factorize 8ab squared, 8ab squared minus 32a squared. 8ab squared minus 32a squared. 8ab squared minus 32a squared. Yes. How do we factorize this? Who is helping us out with this? How are we going to factorize this? Anybody? To be sure, 8ab to a. Okay. Oh, sorry. I knew that there was a mistake with this. It's actually a raised by 3. Okay. So that's the question, people. How are you going to factorize this? Yes. I'm getting to that, Marwan. Oh, SF, you like how I say plus. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Now you're going to be making me conscious of the way I say plus. All right. So we have this, okay? This is raised by 3, by the way. We want to get into that. So let's go now. Like I said before I had a bit of network hitch. See, we can write a as root a raised by 2, but we don't want to do that. We can factorize. What is common between 8ab squared and 32a raised by 3? 8a is common because we can get it from here and from here as well. So I'm going to factorize. You have 8a, open in bracket. What is 8 into 8? A cancels a, so you have just b squared, then 8 goes into 32, you have 4, and a goes into a cube, you have a squared. Have you seen that? So yes, can we use different squares here? Yes, we can, because 4 can be written as 2 raised to the power of 2. So it's going to be what? 8a bracket b squared minus 4 will be written as 2 squared, then a squared. Have you seen that? And then you have 8a bracket b squared minus, what about 2 squared a squared? We can write it like this, 2a all raised to the power of 2. Are you seeing that? I hope that makes sense. The board is glitching, sir. Oh, sorry about that. The board is glitching. Okay. We would have that sorted shortly. So this is 8a bracket. Let's use difference of 2 squares here. That would be b minus 2a, and then what? B plus 2a, like I explained before, using difference of 2 squares. It's going to be b minus 2a, and then b plus 2a. Hence, we have this as the solution. I hope this is okay, people. So this is how we go. This is it. Please, let's keep liking the live. Let's keep liking it. Do you have any questions? Let me take this off. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Let's go to the third question. Okay, I have this one, factorize. Don't worry, we are coming to trinomials. Somebody said we should look at trinomials. We are getting there gradually. I just want to make sure everything is in place. Okay. So here's another question. Let me allow all of you to give this a try. Everybody do this. I hope you know that this is also difference of 2 squares. I hope you know that. So let us all factorize this. You can use difference of 2 squares. Here is a simple clue I can give you. Change 9 to 3 raised to the power of 2 to 3 square. Do it like that. Change 9 to 3 square and then apply difference of 2 squares. Is anybody giving me the answer in the chat? Richard said 7 sign. Where is that coming from? Richard Rapson, hi to you too. Good to have you here. Okay, is anybody giving me the answer? If you are doing it, type 1 in the chat. But if you want me to do it now, type 2 in the chat. For the that say it is glitching, I will advise that you increase the quality of the stream. You can, let me see if you can tap the three dots and go to quality. Yes, tap the three dots at the top right, then go to a higher picture quality. Yes, if it's glitching, tap the three dot at the top right, then you see quality, you go there and you tap higher picture quality. Okay, Timmy, formula said I should do it. Okay, I am going to do it. If it's glitching, if it's not sharp, if it's not clear, I would advise that you tap the three dots, the top right of your screen, the top right, there are three dots like this. 1, 2, 3. Just tap it. You will see quality. You tap quality, then you go to a higher picture quality. So you have a better experience, a better viewing experience. So let's do this, people. Now, like I told you, change 9 to 3 square. So it's going to be 5D. Let's leave this as it is like this. But this 9 can be written as 3 square. You know that already. So I can write it like this, 3e all raised to the power of 2. When you have e squared. So now we have difference of 2 squares looking all nice and neat. Are you all with me? Okay, so let's go. Now, let's use difference of 2 squares. Use this as x, this as y. The way I wrote it before. See, x squared minus y squared is equal to x plus y, or you can say x minus y first, anyone? Then x plus y. Okay, so let's use it like this here. So you have 5d minus 2e, right? Minus 3e in bracket, and then what? 5d minus 2e, see the next one, plus the next term here, 3e, and then you have this. You see that? So let's simplify everything we have in the bracket. This is 5d minus 2e minus 3e is what? Is minus 5e in bracket. And then what about this? Minus 2e plus 3e is what? Plus e. So this is the answer. Did anybody get this? Did anybody get this? YouTube is suggesting me your video so much. Math Kada. That's because they know that you love math so much. Yes, that's because they know that you love math so much and they want you to have more of math content. I hope you love this suggestion. I'm good to have you here again. Welcome. So let's go to number 4. We have some decent challenging questions on this. So everybody, let's do this. Factorize 50k raised to the power of 4 minus 8b squared. Yes. Interesting question. Let me allow you to do number 4. I'm going to give you all a chance to do number 4. I'm going to give you all a chance to do number 4. All right? So give this a try. Give this a try. Remember, this is raised to the power of 4. Okay? So like I said, if you're having glitch, increase the cam quality. We can see the board with this quality. Okay, I will advise that you see there are 3 dots at the top right of your camera. There are 3 dots at the top right of your screen. Just tap on that 3 dots and you go to quality. You tap quality and then you can increase the picture quality. Okay, because if I'm viewing it from this my phone here, the quality is actually very okay. Let me show you. See, I hope you can see this. It's actually okay. All right, it's okay because I've increased the quality. So I would advise that you all do this. Tap the three dots on your phone, right? And then you go to quality. Then you go to a higher picture quality. So yeah, it's going to make you have a better viewing experience. So let's all do that, okay? And if you're here, you've not liked the live stream, please do well to like the live stream. Good to have all of you here. So is anybody doing this? If you're already doing it, can you type 1 in the chat? Your audio also breaks in between. Oh, really? Okay. Is anybody also having that experience? I say my audio also breaks in between. Is anybody having that experience? Does my audio break? What could be wrong? Does my audio break in between? Anybody? Please, I need your feedback. And thank you, Math Kada, for this feedback. No, it's still blurring. It must be your connection. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. How's it going? Okay, it looks fine for now. Thank you. My response was hi. Your connection is fine. Okay, thank you. So, can anybody tell us? Have you been able to do this? Is anybody giving me the answer in the chat? Anybody? Okay, let me also give you a guide. See, you can factorize. 50 is here, 8 is here. They are both even numbers, and 2 can be used to divide 50 and 8. So 2 is a factor, it's a common factor. So factorize it. You write 2, you open a bracket. 2 goes into 50, you have 25. Then you have k raised to the power of 4 minus 2 goes into 8, you have 4. Then you have b squared. But are we done factorizing? No, we are not done. You know why? 25 can be written as 5 raised to the power of 2. 4 can be written as 2 raised to the power of 2. But we have a small challenge. See k here. K has a power of 4. But we're talking about difference of 2 squares. This is not difference, right? So how can we write this power of 4 so that it will have a sort of square? This is how. So it's going to be what? 2 then bracket 5 squared. This k raised to the power of 4 can be written as k raised to the power of 2 and then raised to the power of 2 again. Are you seeing that? So 2 times 2 will give you what? 4. So I just did this in a way that I will still have square outside of this term, right? Then minus, what about 4? 2 raised to the power of 2, then b squared, and then close the bracket. So let's rewrite this again to make it nice and neat. So 2 bracket. This is 5k squared. This is square. They have a common square. So I'm going to write 5k squared, then all square, right? If you apply this square to 5, you have 5 squared, which will give you 25. If you apply this square to k squared, you have this one, which will give you what? K raised to the power of 4. So do you see how I was able to change from k raised to the power of 4 to k squared? Because I want to apply the difference of 2 squares. Now, 2 squared b squared can be written as 2b all squared. And then we have this bracket closing all of them up. So this is going to be 2. Then let's use difference of 2 squares. People, let's do that. So that will be bracket 5k squared minus 2b in bracket. And then open that bracket, you have what? 5k squared, then plus what? 2b. Yes, so this is going to be the final result. I hope this is okay, everybody. 2 bracket 5k squared minus 2b, then bracket 5k squared plus 2b. This is the final answer, everybody. I hope this is okay. Okay, who else got this one as well? Okay, Math Kada, you got this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's great, that's great, that's great. Pythagoras theorem. Please come live daily. Okay, I will try to do that. I will try to do that and try to also join my community so that when I come live, you'll be aware and subscribe. If you're on this live stream, you have not subscribed. Why have you not subscribed? So try to subscribe so you can be notified when I come live. Okay. So 3 and 4 done and dusted. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. I've got another interesting question. So I think this is number 5. Factorize x squared plus x squared minus 2x plus 2 then square. Can you give this a try, everybody? Can you give this? Oh, don't worry. Let me quickly do this. I'll give you one more to try, and that'll be all for difference of two squares. We will now move on to trinomials. Some of you are already anticipating trinomials. We have this one more, and then trinomials. Okay, stay put and get the best from this live stream. So again, see, if you choose not to use difference of two squares, it's fine. But I think using difference of two squares is going to be a lot easier for you than expanding this differently, and then combining everything. So let's just use difference of two squares. So take this as a squared, this as b squared. You know, when you have a squared minus b squared, it's going to be what? A minus b in bracket, and then what? A plus b. So that's exactly how you should take this and take this. So it's going to be what? X squared plus x minus, see, you have to be careful here. A minus b, right? So this, take this as a, take this as b, minus, don't just write 2x plus 2, because this minus should be applied to both 2x and plus 2. So the best thing is to group this in bracket. All right, and if you like, you can just enclose in a big bracket like this. It's very important you do so. You put a minus here. This minus is affecting everything you have in the bracket. All right, if you just put minus 2x plus 2 without using bracket to make it a term, so to say, now it's going to have you make a mistake. So moving on to the next one, then you have x squared plus x, then plus. With this one, it's fine even if you don't put into bracket because of the plus here. But let's just wrap everything in bracket like this to make it nice and neat. So you have 2x plus 2, right? And we have this. So I've just used difference of two squares to bring this to this form. Square, square, and I have minus, I have plus here. Make sense? So let's remove the bracket from these two. It's going to be x squared plus x. Now this minus should be applied to these two terms in the bracket. Take note of that. So minus 2x, and then what? Minus 2, because minus times plus is minus. Then you have 2. So let's come and do the same thing here. X squared plus x, and then what? Plus 2x plus 2. Nothing is going to change it because this is plus. Plus times plus will still give you what? Plus. So we have this. Let's now simplify. Now x minus 2x is what? Is minus x, then minus 2. What about this one? X squared. X plus 2x is what? 3x, and then plus 2 from here. So this is the final answer. I don't think we can simplify any further unless you want to expand and do all of that. But with this, we are fine. Okay? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Please, let's drop your question in the chat. If you have any question, drop it in the chat. Here we can factorize it further by middle term split. By middle term split, yes, we can do that. If you have minus 1, okay, how would you like trinomial? So that's where we are going to next. Math Kada. That's where we are going to next. Yeah? Will you be putting your advert for your tutorial? Okay, yes, thank you. For those of you who want to join my private math class, you're welcome. You can check the link on my bio and join and just send a message. There's also a link there where you can make payment and join my private class. There's one-on-one classes. There's also group classes available. So anyone you want to join, you are welcome to my private class. I train students preparing for GCSE, preparing for IGCSE, SAT, WAEC, for those of you in Africa, in Nigeria, JAM, and all those exams. I train students for those exams. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's it. X squared. Yeah. Okay, somebody said we can factorize that. Yes, but you know what's going to happen? In order not to make this too complicated, let's just leave it like this and now go and focus on trinomials where we'll be factorizing fully. So let me clean this. So I answered x plus 1 squared. Okay, good. X plus, okay, okay. Yeah. So I answered x plus 1 squared. Yes, x plus 2 and x minus 1. That's good. That's good. So if you want to factorize this, this is going to be what? 2 plus 1. Yeah. And then here's what? Minus 1 plus 2. Sorry, minus 2 plus 1 as the two factors here and here. Okay, maybe I should just do it, but it's not yet time for me to bring in trinomials. Maybe I should just talk about trinomials here. If you want to factorize this further, you ask yourself, do we have what this is? This has a coefficient of 1, unity, right? So look at the constant term is what? Minus 2. So you think of two factors. When you multiply, you get minus 2. When you add, you get the coefficient of the middle term, which is minus 1. What are they? Minus 2 and then plus 1. Minus 2 times 1 is minus 2, which is this constant term. But minus 2 plus 1 is what? Minus 1, which is the coefficient of the middle term. So those are the two factors, minus 2 plus 1. So you are going to put two brackets and write it like this. See this? You have x here, then minus 2 here plus 1. Minus 2 and plus 1 were those two factors we thought of. So we're already talking about trinomials already. So let's do the same thing here. What this is unity, that's 1, the coefficient of the leading term. Think of two factors. When I multiply, I get 2. When I add, I get plus 3. When I multiply those two factors, I get plus 2. When I add, I get plus 3. What are they? 2 and 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So use those two factors as like open to bracket, right? X here, and those two factors, plus 2 and 1 plus 1, right? So yes. Now, when you check this first big bracket and second big bracket, we have x plus 1 common in both of them, right? You see it now. X plus 1 is common. So let's factor that out. You're going to have x plus 1 in bracket. And then what we have left, so this is x minus 1, right? And then what? X plus 2. Yes. So this is going to be your final answer. Thank you, Math Kada. Actually, I was actually waiting for the next subheading to start introducing trinomials. But let me just also do it here that it's going to be this. Okay, so x plus 1, and then x minus 1, then x plus 2. I hope this is okay, people. I hope this makes sense. Okay, good. This is not an equation, so we cannot talk about x plus 1 squares and all that. Okay, I hope this is okay. We can now with what, how you got x minus 1. Is it with me? X. Oh, thank you for that. That's x minus 2, right? Yes, thank you. X minus 2. Yeah, x minus 2. Yes, that's correct. And then x plus 2. Beautiful. So that's it. That's it. Okay? Great. X plus 1 squared. Why is the x plus 1 squared? Or we can just do this like this. It's okay. It's fine. All right? It's okay. So we're good. Let's move on. It's good. X plus 1 factored out. And then what? X minus 2, then x plus 2. Yeah. Let's move on. So we're now going to be talking about trinomials. trinomials. Do you know what trinomials are? Trinomials are expressions with three terms. For example, x squared plus 5x minus 3. This is a trinomial because you have three terms, 1, 2, and 3. This is a trinomial. You're required to factorize expressions that are trinomials like this. How would you factorize? If you want to factorize this, for instance, let's just say, for instance, you want to factorize this. You cannot just take a common factor from the three terms because there's nothing common between x squared, 5x, and negative 3. So the goal of this is to split 5x into two terms. Then you can now, you have two terms here. You have two terms here. You factorize the first two terms and factorize the next two terms. That's how trinomials work when you're talking about factorizing trinomials, okay? So let's look at an example on that. Where are my questions? So number one, everybody, let's do this. Factorize x squared. Wait, hold on. Let me get this one first. X squared plus 7x, yes. And then plus 12. I've already touched on trinomials before, but let's do it properly now. This is a trinomial. Why? It has three terms, 1, 2, and 3. Are you seeing that? It has three terms, 1, 2, and 3. How are you going to factorize? Are you going to say x is common? No, you can't say that because there's no x here. Neither can you say 7 is common or 12. It's not here. It's not here. So what do? The goal is to now split 7x into two terms. So once you split 7x into two terms, it will now make it to have 4 terms. Perhaps if you pick the first two terms, there might be something common between the first two terms and the last two terms. So that's why we are trying to, why we are to be quartic, to have 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick the first two terms, factorize, pick the last two terms. But let's do this together. Are you ready? So you will now think of 2 factors of 12. Those 2 factors, when you multiply, you get 12. When you add those 2 factors, you will get what? Plus 7. But hold on a minute. You can do this without multiplying x squared and 12 if the coefficient here is unity. By unity, I mean 1. If it is unity, you can just pick 12 and think of 2 factors. But if this is, let's say 2, for instance, you cannot just use 12. You have to multiply 2 by 12. But we will get there as we proceed. But now this is unity. Take this 12. Think of 2 factors. When you multiply, you get 12. When you add those 2 factors, you get what? 7. So what are they going to be? If you want to pick 2 and 6, of course, 2 times 6 is 12. But when you add this to 2 plus 6, will not give you 7. So we can't use this. We can't even use 12 and 1. 12 times 1, of course, is 12. But 12 plus 1 will not give you 7. So the sum must give you 7. The product must give you 12. Can anybody help us in the chat? Can anybody help us in the chat? X plus 3 and X plus 4, right? Okay. X plus 3 and X plus 4. Beautiful. So the two open two brackets, right? And then you write X here, you write X here. So the two factors are going to be what? You know, we talked about 3 and 4. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 4 is what? 7. So plus 3 here and plus 4 here. So this is going to be the answer. That's all. This is going to be the answer. But if you don't, let me show you something before I come here. Just hold on a bit. I want us to do this without jumping the steps. But as time goes on, you can now start jumping those steps. X squared plus 7x plus 12. You write x squared plus. Those two factors we thought of are what? 3 and 4, right? So I can replace 7x and write 3x plus 4x. If you add 3x plus 4 to 4x, you get 7x. Then we have plus 12. So now you see that we have 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you pick the first 2 terms, you factorize. You pick the last, is that okay? You pick the first 2 terms, you factorize. You pick the last 2 terms, you also factorize. Make sense? Good. Okay. So we are now going to look at these first 2 terms. What is common between x squared and 3x? That's what? X. So you are going to write x, open a bracket, then you have x plus 3. Because x is common between x squared and 3x. So x into x squared is x. X into 3x is what? Plus 3. Then you come to these last 2 terms. What is common between 4x and 12? 4 is common. So you write 4, open in bracket. 4 goes into 4x, you have what? X. And 4 goes into 12, you have what? 3. Because 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times x is 4x. So if you look at these 2 terms, you have this and then you have this. What is common between this and this? It is what? X plus 3. So you're going to write x plus 3 and x plus 3. So you factor that out. You have x plus 3 in bracket and then what? X plus 4. Is that okay? So this is going to be the answer. You'll notice when we thought of those 2 factors of 12, we said they are 3 and 4. We can do all of this without writing these 2 steps and jumping into this. We can do that. But because I'm introducing trinomials and how to factorize them, let's just build the foundation first. Then as we move on, we can now begin to skip all the steps and get our answer straight up, okay? That's good. Very good. So down there, thank you. If he wants to keep going on, I will keep ignoring him, okay? You cannot just come to my live stream and keep talking like this and you want me to acknowledge you. You will have to speak with respect. You can't come to my live stream and then you speak anyway and you want me to recognize you. If you want to get off the live stream, it's fine, all right? So this is going to be the answer, all right? Let's go to the second question. I have to ignore you because you. Which mistake are you trying to talk about? Which question are you making reference to? Okay, moving on. Factorize x squared plus 2x and then minus 3. Why did you say to the value of x? Which value of x? X is here. Is it the one that we did before? That one is not an equation. The value of x. That one is not an equation. What he's trying to say. Okay, so the one before that, before we came to trinomials, let me go back and revisit what he said. I hope I can get the question. I should be able to get it. So we have something like this. Hold on. I think we had something like this. X plus 2. Hold on a bit. I will get it now. When we factorized it, this was a question. X squared plus x, right, all squared minus 2x plus 2 squared. And then we were able to use difference of 2 squared. So summa, we now got something like this. I think we got this in the end, x plus 2 in bracket, then x plus 1. Is it x plus 1? Then we also got what? X minus 2, and then x plus 1. Math kada, right? We know we got something like this. Okay? So this is actually the answer, right? Math kada, are you still there? I'm checking that already. Is this to the one you are making reference to, Math kada? This is the one, right? So if you, okay, now that we have, okay, x plus 1, twice of this. Okay? That's x plus 1 is here. So this one squared. This is what you're trying to say, x plus 1. That's x plus 1 squared. Okay, got it. It's fine then. Okay, so this is going to be the answer to the previous one. I think what I wrote was x plus 1 in bracket and then this 2. Okay, I see it now. Anyways, thanks for the feedback, but you don't speak that way, okay? You don't speak that way. You speak with respect. You call my attention gently. You don't just, the reason why I ignored you before was the way you put it. Your language was not too good. So you learn to communicate with clarity and with respect. So yes, x plus 1 is here. X plus 1 is here. You square it and then you have this. Then you now have x plus 2 and then x minus 2. I hope that settles it. And I hope we can move on now. All right, good to go. So let me remove this. And as a matter of fact, if you choose to leave your answer like this, it's fine too. But to factorize further, x plus 1, so you have square of that, then x plus 2, and then x minus 2. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. So come to number 2 under trinomials. Again, if you think of 2 factors, when you multiply, you get -3. This is unity. The coefficient of x squared is 1. So you don't need to multiply anything here by -3. Even if you want to do that, it's still going to give you what? -3. Think of 2 factors. When you multiply, you get -3. When you add, you get +2. Anybody helping us with that? Now you have to be careful. You think of 2 factors. When you multiply, you get -3. When you add, you get +2. Anybody? Okay, is anybody helping us out with that? Anybody? Think of 2 factors. When you multiply, you get -3. When you add, you get +1. Now, let me give you a clue. The 2 factors must be negative. Why? Because minus times minus, sorry, that was a mistake. The 2 factors will, when you multiply these 2 factors, you get -3. Excuse me. So it means that one of the factors must be negative, right? Because negative times positive will give what? Negative. So have this in mind. But if you want to pick 2 negative factors, when you multiply these 2 negative factors, you get +3. But that's not what we have here. So be mindful of that. Anybody? Okay, let's just, since there's nobody for now giving me what to do, the 2 factors are going to be what? -3 and what? No, not -3, because if you do -3 and 1, Negative 3 times 1 will give negative 3. But negative 3 plus 1 will not give you this. So we cannot use this. Can we switch the negative signs? 3 times negative 1 is what? Negative 3. And 3 plus negative 1 is what? 2. So we can use these two factors. Okay, we can replace 2x with what? 3 and negative 1x. Is that okay? So let's do this. Let's move on. So it's going to be what? X squared plus 3x. That's one of the factors, 3x. And then minus what? X. Minus 1. Or you can just write minus x. Because this 2, when you subtract, you get 2x. Then minus 3. So can you see how I have moved it, or I have changed it from trinomials to 4 terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. The sole reason of doing this is to be able to factorize in twos. You pick the first 2 terms, you factorize. You pick the last 2 terms, you also what? Factorize. Is that okay? Very good. So what is common between these first 2 terms? That's x. So you write x, open in bracket, x into x squared is x, and x into plus 3x is what? Plus 3. Close the bracket. So we come to these last 2 terms. What is common between negative x and negative 3 is what? Negative 1. Open a bracket. Negative 1 into negative x is what? X. And negative 1 into negative 3 is what? Plus 3. You see that? So you see that we have x plus 3 here and we have x plus 3 here. So we factor that out again. So you're going to have x plus 3 in bracket. And then what? X minus 1. So this is going to be the final result. But you know that we can decide to skip these 2 steps. We can do that because if you think of those 2 factors, which are what? Which are 3 and negative 1. Just open 2 brackets. See. Okay, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Math Kadal, thanks for the feedback. It's fine. Your observation has been taken into consideration. If you check, I have already corrected what I did. Thank you. Yes, I shouldn't have written x plus 1 and then that bracket, but I've squared x plus 1, all right, as it should be. Thanks for the feedback. I skipped that completely. It didn't occur to me then, maybe because I wanted to go to trinomials. Okay. Anyways, thank you. So let's move on now. I've solved 2 questions on trinomials. Then we have this one to be done as well. So can anybody tell me in the chat? Give me 2 factors. When you add these 2 factors, you are going to get negative 12. But when you multiply, when you multiply these 2 factors, you get negative 12. When you add, you get minus 4. Okay, thank you, Matskada. When you multiply these 2 factors, you get minus 12. When you add, you get minus 4. What are these 2 factors? So henceforth, I will no longer be writing those multiple steps because I also want you to be able to do this quickly, as fast as possible. In case you see this in a multiple choice type question, exam, you will not go through all those steps before you get your answer. You can just quickly, from the top of your head, get the answers quickly. So just one line will get an answer here. So open 2 brackets first of all. This is x squared. Write x here, write x here. You think of 2 factors. When you multiply these 2 factors, you get minus 12. When you add these 2 factors, you get minus 4. So what are they going to be? That's what. So you just keep testing them out. If you do minus 12 and 1. Minus 12 times 1 is minus 12. But minus 12 plus 1 cannot give you minus 4. So you can't use that. All right. You can look at minus 4 should be like a guide for you. But again, yeah, I think I'm already looking at 6 and what? 6 and 2. I know that 6 minus 2 will give me 4, but this is minus 4. So I have to switch the negative sign, write minus here, and then this is going to be what? Plus 2. So minus 6 times 2 is minus 12. Is that not? And minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. Is that okay? So that's it. Now, since these two factors work here and here, then I will just write minus 6 here and then plus 2. And that's it. This is going to be your just one line, we've gotten our answer. So this is how you can do it quickly. Let's look at another question. And I think you should try this next one yourself. Can we all factorize n squared plus 24n minus 81? Can we all do this? If you have the answer, drop it in the chat. If you have the answer, drop it in the chat. Yes. Let the answer drop it in the chat. Anybody? Anybody? So, see, you have plus here, you have minus. Take note. Plus here, minus. So, those two factors, what do you think about those two factors? Anybody helping us in the chat? I'm still here. So you may observe that if it's not very clear from your end, you can increase the quality of the live stream. Tap the 3 dot top right. Tap the 3 dot top right and tap on quality. And you go to a higher picture quality. Okay, is anybody giving us the answer in the chat? So the two factors, when you multiply, you get negative 81. When you add, you get plus 24. What are they going to be? So here's a clue for you. Because you know that those two factors, when you multiply, you get negative 81. It means that one of the factors will be negative, while the other will be positive, because minus times plus is minus, right? But then because this is plus, what again should come to mind is that the bigger factor should be positive, while smaller should be negative. Let me give you an example. So if you want to think of those two factors, that could be 27 and what? 3, right? Because 27 times 3 is what? 81. But this is minus 81. So it means that one of these factors will have a negative sign. But if you put minus here, for instance, minus 27 plus 3 will not give you plus 24. So that's a good way of knowing where to put which one should have the negative sign. So it should be here. Because 27 plus minus 3 is what? Plus 24. Or 27 times minus 3 is what? Minus 81. Okay, so these are going to be the two factors, 27 and negative 3. So again, like I told you before, I'm just going to open two brackets real quick like this and write n here, because this is n squared, n here and n here. So those two factors are what? Plus 24 and what? Minus 3. And there you go. That's your final answer. So The first two questions I solved, I didn't just jump to this final stage. Okay, so don't just say, oh, why am I not showing the workings fully? I have done that in the first two questions under trinomials, but I'm just also trying to show you how you can get your answer real quick without wasting time. I hope this makes sense. If you are just joining me, please let's like the live stream so more people can join us and learn from what we're doing. Okay, so let's move on to something different. When the coefficient of x squared is not unity. Let me take this up. When the coefficient of x is not unity. So let's consider this. Let's go. Number one, factorize 12 plus 11x minus x squared. If you check the coefficient of the leading term of x squared, not x. So the coefficient of the leading term x squared is minus. It's not unity. For unity is 1, but this is minus 1. How do we factorize this? Are we just going to think of 2 factors of 12? No, you cannot do that. You can't do that. So what do? I am going to multiply 12 and what? Negative x squared. What is 12 times negative x squared? That will be what? Negative 12x squared. So this is what you are going to use to produce those 2 factors. If you use 12, it's going to be wrong because the coefficient of the leading term, this one that has the highest power, is minus. So you can't just use 12. You have to multiply this constant term 12 and the leading term, giving us what? Minus 12x squared. So we think of 2 factors. When you multiply, you get minus 12. When you add, you get what? Plus 11. Yes. What are they going to be? What are they going to be? Anybody? When you multiply, you get minus 12. When you add, you get plus 11. It's going to be what? Negative 12? No, not negative 12. So can it work? No. Do you know why? Even though we know that minus 12 times 1 is minus 12, but minus 12 plus 1 will not give us plus 11. So we have to switch the sign. We'll take it off here and put it here. 12 times minus 1 is minus 12, but 12 plus minus 1 is what? 11. So these are the 2 factors we are going to use, okay? So I'm going to replace 11x and put 12x, then minus x. So let's write it 12 plus 11x will now be what? 12x minus 1x or minus x. Minus x. Make sense? So minus x. Then minus x squared. So here we can now factorize. Pick the first 2 terms, factorize it. The last 2 terms, factorize. And let's see what that will give us. So let's go. What's common between 12 and 12x? Isn't that 12? Open a bracket. 12 into 12 is 1, then plus 12 goes into 12x. You have what? X. You close the bracket. What is common between minus x and minus x squared? That's what? Minus 1. Open a bracket. What is minus 1 into minus x? That's what? Sorry, not minus 1. Sorry, is x. Yes. Minus x is common. So minus x into minus x is 1. Minus x goes into minus x squared. See, minus goes into minus, you have plus. It's like you are dividing. Minus divided by minus is plus. And then x squared divided by x is what? X. So can you see that what we have in the bracket are the same? 1 plus x here and 1 plus x here. So I'm going to have what? 12 or 1 plus x. See, it's common. Let's factorize this again. So 1 plus x. And then what? The one outside, 12 minus x in bracket, 12 minus x. So this is the result we get when we factorize this trinomial. We have 1 plus x in bracket and 12 minus x in the bracket. Is that okay? So let me write another question for us to try. If you can, factorize, where are we? Factorize 2y squared plus 11y plus 15. If you notice, the coefficient of the leading term here, when I say leading term, the one that has the highest power, is 2. It's not unity. Right? Yes, not unity. It is 2. So you cannot just say, oh, think of 2 factors of 15. You can't do that. You have to multiply this and this, like I did here. You can just do, so 2y squared times 15 is what? 30y squared. So this is going to be what you should look at for 30y squared. Think of 2 factors. When you multiply, you get 30. When you add, you get what? 11. Now, you don't have any issue with this because the 2 factors should be positive. Why? This is plus 30y squared. This is what? Plus 11y. So no stress. You don't have to put minus in any of them. 2 positive terms. 2 positive factors. So anybody helping us out with what we should be? Anybody? 30. When you multiply, you get 30. When you add, you get 11. What are they going to be? So just write the factors of 30 first. 31, right? 15, 2. When you add these 2, you won't get 11. So you keep going. 15 into 2 factors, which are what? 3 and 5. So 3 times 5, right? So 5 times 2 is 10. Are you seeing that? You can do 6, 5. We have other combinations. But 6 plus 5 will give us what? 11. So we're going to use 6 and 5. So I'm going to write 2y squared. I'll change 11y to what? 6y plus 5y. So plus 6y plus 5y, and then plus what? 15. Notice I've replaced 11y with what? 6y plus 5y. So look at the first 2 factors, 2y squared and 6y. What is common between the 2 of them, the first 2 terms? It is what? 2y. So I'm going to have 2y bracket. What is 2y into 2y squared? That's y. Because 2 divided 2, you get 1. Y into y squared is y. So plus 2 goes into 6, you have 3. Y divides y, you have nothing left. You have 1, by the way, which is still going to be 3. Good? So plus, what about this and this? What's common between 5y and 15? It's going to be 5. So you write 5, open a bracket. 5 into 5y, you have y. And 5 into 15, you have what? 3. So we have y plus 3 in this bracket and y plus 3 in the other bracket. So I want to factor that out. So y plus 3 is common. Bring it out. And then what we have outside, 2y plus 5. 2y plus 5. If you expand these 2 factors, you will get the original question, which is what? 2y squared plus 11y plus 15. So I'm going to be stopping right here. I'll be back again later. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. All right. Do well to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to see you in the next live stream. Make sure you turn on the notification bell so when I go live, you'll be notified. Thank you for your feedback, and Mathkata, thank you for your feedback as well. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.